Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly look at life and finances with a twist where we talk about improving your overall relationship with money and building better financial habits. On each episode, I'll discuss real life situations and give y'all practical advice. The point of this podcast is to help you stay in your financial lane so you won't end up broke. I'm the creator and host, Richie. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm back. Coming off of Mother's Day as well. So let me just go ahead and get this out there. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms and mother figures out there. And I know somebody asked me this yesterday in the DMs. They were like, oh, you're not doing a Dear Mama episode this year, because usually I do a Dear Mama episode. For those of y'all who are new, for the last 2 years, I've done an episode of what it is that my mom taught me. And I'll go back, revisit those lessons, reminiscing and stuff like that, and try to make it have that money feel to it. What I learned from my mom, whether that was consciously learning from me just watching her or something that I physically learned. And so I didn't do that this year. I wasn't up for it this year. This year on my Instagram page, I did a prayer video because that's what I felt moved to do this year. So didn't do that. But if you haven't listened to those, I know Mother's Day has passed. You can go back and listen to those Dear Mama episodes that I've done over the last 2 years of the podcast being alive and being born. Okay. And so, y'all, I know it's been 2 weeks since I did an episode. Y'all, I am trying to find a way to space these episodes out because I told y'all I am doing a live show for the 100th episode. And y'all, this episode is coming up so quick. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I think I have a fix for that. But essentially, I'm going to be did more episodes, more than 100 episodes by the time I get to the actual 100th episode live show, which I'm going to have more details, y'all. It is coming up. One woman show over here. Okay, one woman team. Y'all is marketing, but I'm the one that's coming up with all the ideas, okay? I've had some mental blocks. I'm going to get into that. We got lots to talk about coming up here soon. So just wanted to just give y'all, just do a little bit of housekeeping real quick to give y'all some announcements there. But May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and being the deep soul that I am, y'all, I be deep, okay? I am deep. Y'all, not only am I deep, I'm self-aware, too self-aware. I'm a Capricorn, too self-aware. I'm very aware of my feelings, my emotions, and my thoughts. And with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to make sure that I found a way to add a twist on that. Okay, how can we talk about mental health on the podcast when y'all know money and finance is my thing? That's what I love to talk about. So I said, why not do a series? Okay, because y'all know I've been loving doing the series and stuff, and y'all have been listening to them. I see that y'all like that. That's something that I developed in year 2 of the podcast, and I like it, and I'm going to keep that going. And so, being the person that I am, and knowing that I've experienced depression before, because depression is a symptom of having, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. Depression is a symptom of mental health. So with me being a person who's experienced depression that was caused by a lack of finances, I wanted to go ahead and put a series together where I talk about how money stress relates to your mental health. All right. Y'all know, period. My overall goal here on the podcast is just to remove taboo stereotypes. I love talking about money. I want y'all to get into a habit of talking about money, not only with your friends, your family, whomever. Of course, the right people, okay? Don't just be going up to the random people. Child, you know what I mean, okay? I just want to remove that because I do feel like the more we share, the more we learn, all right? And you can always learn something from somebody. So that's what I've been trying to create here on my podcast. And then also, I wanted to make sure that I'm familiar, y'all, I cannot say this word. Familiarizing. Did I say it? Child, look at me. Familiarizing y'all with various financial topics. Y'all know I'm country. I don't know. Look, that word, I was like, it came out of nowhere. That's what my brain does sometimes. It's like it'll give me a big word and be like, say this, but I see it, but I don't know how to say it. I promise I'm smart, y'all. I promise. Okay, anyways, I want to familiarize y'all with financial topics that you might not hear about. So I talked about mental health and finances last year on the podcast, but this year I wanted to create a series around it just because I know the importance of it. I know the day and age that we live in now where mental health is a hot topic. It's something that we're talking about more, and I'm glad we're talking about it more because me being the Black woman that I am, growing up Black, okay, when you brought up mental health, child, people was calling you crazy. You might as well had just gone ahead and put like a scarlet letter above your head or something. Hopefully I'm using that phrase right. I think I am. But you might as well have done that. And lots of people, they don't seek help. They don't go to therapy. They don't know what to do when they're experiencing some type of mental health issue. So they bottle that up inside. And so because I know mental health is so important to talk about, especially with this being the awareness month where you're supposed to talk about it and bring more attention to the topic itself, I wanted to combine that with finances because, like I said earlier, I've experienced mental health issues due to not having enough money, being broke, not knowing where my next paycheck is going to come from having bills that were piling up because I wasn't making enough money. I've been in that situation. And that's the reason why I love that I am Chief Mindfully Rich Officer over here, because I've been through the stuff that I'm talking to y'all about. And so while I have this knowledge, while I've been working in the financial industry coming up on 16 years, I have, yes, the knowledge, but I'm not perfect. I go through stuff just like y'all go through it. And I love that I get a chance to tell y'all about those experiences or combine those experiences with the knowledge that I know. So that way y'all don't have to go through it as hard, or you don't have to go through it at all. Okay. That's the reason why I am here. I want to make sure that I am serving. I told God, you give me the knowledge, Lord. I'm going to serve you in a way where I am giving people this wisdom. I'm giving it out for free on this podcast. So that way y'all can take this and do what you will with it in your lives and eliminate any stress that is holding you down mentally, because that's what it's all about. All right. So there's a lot to cover on this topic. And so I am breaking this topic up into a 3-part series. So today you will be getting part 1. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the Let's Talk About Money segment. So y'all already know, then said May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I have titled this series, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, Money, Stress, and Mental Health. Y'all, okay, I was so excited about this just because yesterday was Mother's Day, and my mom, the first song that my mom introduced me to was Ghetto Boys, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. And I thought about that. That was the first rap song that I ever learned. Like, if you don't know that song, Ghetto Boys is from Houston. You're going to have to go ahead and look that up. And for those of y'all that are new, I love to combine like my music titles as topics. So yes, I decided to use that. It goes, it fits. Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, mental health, boom, the link. Look at it. I did that. Yes. Okay. And so y'all probably thinking to yourself, am I going to finish this series? Y'all are in luck because I have done and completed all 3 of the episodes. So you are getting an episode for the next 3 weeks. Back to back. Okay. May you getting episodes. Okay. Now, June and July, you are going to get episodes. It's either going to be every other week or every 2 weeks, only because I got to space them out. Because y'all, this is literally episode 94. And I'm doing 3 episodes. So if you add that up, that's 94, 95, 96. Okay. That's too many. That's too many episodes. I'm trying to space these things out. Like I just told y'all, I want that 100th episode to land at the end of August, okay? So you're going to get 3 episodes, and they are already uploaded. So you're going to get one back to back to back. They're going to be uploaded on Sunday night like they supposed to be. Y'all going to be good to go. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know. That's why I be needing like to have some round of applause and claps and stuff like that. Look at consistency there, okay? So let me go ahead and get into this topic, y'all, because y'all, look, I just can't. Anyways, all right. Like I told y'all, I named the series Money, Stress, and Mental Health. All right. And today I'm going to tackle and talk about how money problems are linked to your mental health, our mental health as a whole. Okay. So, have any of y'all ever experienced being broke? Okay. Raise your hand, even if you're in your car right now. Okay. Well, I have. All right. And I'm glad that I've been through these experiences. And I've been broke a couple of times in life. Okay. Maybe I should say a few times in life. And I'm glad that I've had these experiences just because I can understand it on a whole nother level. It doesn't make me feel superior or anything like that. It makes me have deeper empathy and sympathy when people are going through these situations. And it makes me want to help them even more because I know what I had to do in these situations to get out. And so I asked this question just because when you're broke, essentially, you're having money problems. All right. And when we're talking about the link with that to mental health, when you're broke, that brings on depression. You're depressed because you don't know where your next dollar coming from. Or look at it like this. If you got too many bills or you have limited money, those bills are starting to pile up. So the bills are getting to you, which are causing you to be broke, which are causing the money problems as a whole, which are causing a excuse me, which are causing a strain on your mental health. I was getting it too, and then this cough gonna come in, child. Irritating me. I was talking too deeply, I guess. Okay, and so when you're going through something like that, when you're broke, remember, we're talking about being broke, and we're talking about where we either have a lack of money or we have too many bills. We don't have enough money coming in. These are the types of problems, the mental health problems that can start. And first, it starts with depression. All right. Not saying that it's going to go in this order. This is the order that I'm going in. All right. And so you have depression. You also have anxiety. I don't know if y'all have ever had any anxiety that was formed around a lack of money or formed around the bills that you had and they're piling up. Now, I didn't have that, child. Okay, look. I done gave y'all all my business here on the podcast. And so for those of y'all that are new, my broke spell started in 2015 when I was going through my divorce, my separation, y'all. So not only was my mental health in jeopardy because of that life event that I was going through, but I ain't had no money. I had quit my job. It was a bad situation, child. It's a long story. Ain't gonna talk about that. That had happened. And so the bills were starting to pile up. You get in the calls, okay? When I'm talking about anxiety, when people are calling you, when they like, when you gonna pay blah, 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 and you don't even know when you gonna get some money to pay it, child, anxiety, oh my goodness, will be through the roof, okay? So when we're talking about having a lack of money, not making enough money, you don't know when your bills are gonna be paid, all of those things, the mental health issues, they continuously come. And they come in these forms. Like I said, depression, anxiety. And it also causes you to have hard relationships. When I say hard relationships, you're not able to communicate with people the way that you used to just because you're irritable. You irritated. You broke. Okay? Sure. Okay? For those of my broke people out there, we know what it's like. I want y'all to think about this because for my people who don't know what it's like, I want you to take your grown bills that you got right now and you think of not getting a paycheck, not having the income that you have coming in. Think of how much it is that you need to pay. And think of just the needs that you need to do. Not even thinking about the things that you want to do and not being able to pay that. How does that make you feel? Just thinking about that. If you've never been in that position. That's what it's like for those of us who have experienced that. That's a lot. When you can't get past today to even think, all right, is something coming in tomorrow, next week? Do I got any job opportunities? Can I make some more money? Is it available? What am I going to do? Those are all of the things. Those are all of the questions that are going through your mind. Okay. And so having those strained relationships, I said hard relationships because it's going to feel hard, but strained relationships because you're irritable, because of what it is that you're going through. So you got depression, you got anxiety, you got the strained relationships that you're having. And then also think about it like this. any physical health problems that can develop because of the stress that you're feeling from your finances. Now, if you've ever had that happen before, when you going through some type of financial strain, I'm going to use that word again. I like the word strain. When you're going through that, you may not be eating healthy during that time. You may not be doing the things that you really need to do to ensure that you are keeping up with your health as a whole. So when we're not eating healthy, we already know what that could bring about. So you got diabetes that can happen because sugar tends to be the number one thing that lots of people like to go for when we're not feeling good. Now, don't let me generalize everybody. Maybe that's just my drug of choice, sugar. Okay? And I'm going to call it a drug just because diabetes, okay? They might as well call that thing a drug, okay? When you have and when you take in too much sugar, when you're not eating right, when you're building your cholesterol, high blood pressure, all of these things that can occur because salty foods, I don't know what it is about me being stressed out, but salt and vinegar chips, the kettle ones, woo, they be having me in a chokehold. Don't even get me started on Flaming Hot, y'all. Okay? I had to leave both of those alone. All right? In my brain, they are now considered drugs. All right? I can't with them because they're not good for my health. All right. And then any other health issues that can form when you stressed out, stress as a whole. And this is something that my doctor told me. Stress as a whole is a killer because it weakens your heart. But when you depress, when you anxious, when you're irritable with your people, the relationships that you have in your life. And when I say relationships, that's your friendships. That could be romantic. It could be your work relationship. All of those things are in jeopardy because you're irritable. You're not dealing with people right. When you in this position, when you're affected mentally like this, you're not you. And it ain't even like that commercial where they say you need a Snickers. You need more than a Snickers. You need some money, okay? And so when you're going through these things, it can produce new physical health problems. Those health problems can be headaches. You can get migraines because I know headaches is the smaller one. Migraines, child, that's when that head is like, look. What is happening here? That's the stress of a headache, all right? And I already talked about the unhealthy eating habits, all of those things that can happen to you. So that's the reason why it's so important for us to make sure we are managing our money in a way, we are staying on top of our finances. So that way we're not putting ourselves in a position where we're going to be affected mentally by what's going on in our finances. From what I've talked about today, that when you got a mental hold over you, it's going to make it harder for you to manage your money. All right? It's going to make it harder for you to make the best decisions possible that you're going to need to make when it comes to your finances. And don't nobody need no mental fogs. Don't nobody need to be in a mental state that creates more financial problems for you. All right? So today I wanted to focus on how money problems are linked to your mental health and what can happen when you are lacking money, those mental issues that can happen. So not just the lack of money, when you're not making enough money, when you don't have any money coming in, or when you got bills or you got anything that's piled up on you financially, how that can impact you and what that does to you. So that's what this episode was supposed to be centered around. That's what I did. Coming up on the next episode, I will be talking about mental fog and how that affects your income and your savings ability. And I'll be ending the series off talking about some solutions. Getting into the solutions, because y'all know I love when I can get into some solutions because then I can get into more stories, okay? So I wanted to make sure I am being very delicate with this topic. I wanted to make sure that I'm thorough in each area. So hopefully this information has been beneficial, gave you some new perspective. And like always, listening to the podcast is cool because I'm the bomb. I know, I get it. But you want to always remain a student of learning, and especially when it comes to finances and money. So making sure that you're doing your own research so you can learn on your own as well. All right. So I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all continue. Listen. Share to everybody. Okay. Your circles, your group chats, all of those things. Remember, y'all is marketing. I'm a one-woman team over here. So y'all marketing, I need y'all to share. That's y'all job. I'm doing my job. Y'all do y'all's. Okay. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Y'all continue to be here. I know I done been on a crazy schedule. I just appreciate y'all still showing up because the listens is still going up, and that's where I like them at. So y'all, thank y'all so much. But y'all go ahead and live life mindfully, intentionally, and on purpose. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.